Hey, Jennifer here. So, I'll be talking about my personal code of ethics. So my first one would be faith in spirituality. This is important to me because it gives me strength and peace, and also it's reassurance. Like it provides like a center, and just helps me refocus like on the here and the now. And I yeah, so that really came from my upbringing, and is I like my grandmother, like on my mom's side, is like was very spiritual, and so was my mom. And yeah, and so for example, um like we every night, I was brought up to say the Lord's Prayer every night before bed, and it's something I still do, and I find it brings me peace. Um, and I found that I really relied on it, especially last year, uh, with my mom being a palliative patient. So it's no, and just it really brought me peace and helped me heal uh, through the grieving process, and also getting prepared, and also just getting prepared and enduring that whole thing. Just that, for example, just that one thing, a couple things have really helped me is just like knowing that she's down to a better place, and that we'll see each other again, and it's not goodbye, it's see you later. Is yeah. Um, I I just it's just a strong belief of mine. Like no matter, and also I think like no matter um what faith you belong to, it's just it's life is the eternal. So yeah. Um, and I think it's in my student life, I find that it really is a stress reliever, where I can focus. And for example, nature, like I find really brings out my spiritual side, and it just helps me focus. Like going for a walk, for example, it brings me peace, and helps me recenter and focus on the here and now. Um, and I believe that I will still uphold that going forward in the future with my nursing career. That I will rely on the same coping strategies. That maybe it was a tough day, or whatever reason. Um, so yeah, and my next one would be respect. Um, and I find that is, well, you shouldn't say I find, right? For me, it's very important. Uh, as it's how I was raised, and also I believe it's so important. Either is it means it's everything. If you don't respect each other, how you gonna get anything done, or how you gonna move forward? Um, so and respect is a huge thing for many reasons. Um, and as Tara and Joanne, I'm sure has also told us, like you have to give respect to get respect, and so that's is so important. Um, and I believe that I will uphold that strong value going forward, and continue to practice that. And also, as my life as a student, I will continue to uphold that belief. And I believe through my training through like interpersonal communication and ethics, that will help me to even strengthen those beliefs and perhaps come up with different strategies that will be even more effective and help me avoid any potential miscommunication or anything like that. For example, excuse me, I have been guilty of saying like, where are you from in the past, and I wasn't until a couple of years ago that is I never meant anything bad by it. I was just simply curious, like what province are you from, what state you're from, right? And I was just always just really curious about, well, are you from Freddy or not? But I've learned that that can definitely be taken in a different way, even if for my intent it's not like what country you're from, it's, well, what city are you from, this province or not? So it was just mere curiosity, but I didn't see how it can definitely be taken in a bad sense. So for those courses, like, I'm excited to be able to avoid any miscommunications, so that I or resolve any potential difficulties where maybe I don't get my point across. Is I am a passive person, I admit it, so it's like it's something that I know I have to work on, and I was really shy in the past, so it's like I do see improvement, but there's always so much because we're human, right? So there's always room for improvement. And not in my third one would be honesty, because I find well, in the past I have unfortunately dealt with some dishonesty and for past relationships, and also I have dealt with bullying, which from people that and that's a whole situation I'm not getting into, but anyway, for people, yeah, being vindictive, and anyway, I'm not here to talk about that, but it's like that through those experiences, I really has created like me to up, and also like my upbringing, you have to was raised to, you should always be honest and uphold your integrity as a person, because if a person only has their word, right? So if you can't rely on somebody's word, then it's hard. It's hard going forward to, is you don't know like how things are. It's, I guess for me, I question it, and just like going forward with that individual, but or at least I used to, like I have now like come to discover that there are various reasons that someone may be not necessarily dishonest, but to leave out parts of the truth is perhaps they're concerned about what another person would think. Maybe they're scared of potential consequences, or maybe like they're afraid of maybe that maybe they don't know you very well, so they don't know if it's gonna be kept confidential. Yeah, so I don't I've learned to not have such a distrust or such a barrier with individuals that perhaps have done that, have left out parts of the truth to me, and I've found out. So I've definitely been more understanding. But I also think it is probably just like maturity and just more understanding that there are different circumstances, and maybe you don't know what people are going through, right? So I believe that in going forward as my life as a student, that I will apply those reasonings, that perhaps I'm working with somebody, and be more compassionate, be like, hey, it's okay, like, can I help you with something, or is there a reasoning of why this happened, or I like what Tara was talking about, be more assertive but understanding, so not necessarily just passive, or don't let it affect or do your best not to affect your relationship with that particular person, and still maintain personal integrity. So and I also believe that I will use, well, not just believe, I will uphold like the value of honesty throughout my nursing life. I know is so important, but I also will be understanding. And my fourth one would be positivity and kindness. I know those are two things, but I think that they're so connected, for me at least. And I believe like that, like, for example, why positivity is important to me, like, is I feel like if you start your day being like, oh, I can't believe it's Monday, I don't want to do it, I don't want to go, like, if you're thinking negative, then you'll only get negative results, and they'll just bring you down for the rest of your day, and they'll affect your mood, and nobody wants that. Because just for me personally, and I think it has to do with my things I've gone through in my life, where I am so grateful for every morning and every day. So I do believe you have to live for the moment. You have to try to find joy in every day, because hey, anything can happen, and that's just the truth. Like, so, and yeah, so, and that is, like I said, like, that is part in kindness. Like, it just, if you can make somebody's day, like, do it. It's not just what I just strictly believe in. It's just, you try to just, because you don't know what somebody's going through, and simple, like, small things tend to mean a lot to somebody and just turn their day right around. And I strive for that. And but and like I said, I think those beliefs come from partly from how I was raised, especially like the positivity and also, well, kindness as well. Is my mom, she really is like a role model for me. Like, she would like go out of her way to make somebody's day. Like, like, for example, if, say, a waitress or waiter was had exemplary service. She would, when she went home, she would cut one of her roses and take it up to them just for a surprise. Be like, thank you, your service was so great. So, yeah, and that's just super inspiring to me. So I strive to be that as well, and I believe, like, in my student life that I will still like, I'm positive. I try. Sometimes is difficult, especially, but and I know that and I understand that, but I always find a way to bring myself back and just, like, man, it's a Drake day today. Or something, or just, like, watch a YouTube video, take a moment, and just recenter and be like, hey, maybe I'm not understanding this right now, but maybe, I'll watch a video later or read something and I'll have that eureka moment. So it's okay. Or something, right? For example, I just, before I started this video, I had to take my dog out. And, well, gosh darn it, did I step in dog poop. Because it happens. It happens. My dog, she likes to poop all over the lawn and whatever, right? So, with all the leaves down, I'm not the CEO. So, I just laughed, and I just left my shoes outside and be like, it's okay, I'll just strip it off later. But I think if someone was negative, that perhaps might even, like, not necessarily ruin, but it'd be like a downer for a couple of hours, or maybe they might complain about it or something, and it would bring their mood down. So, I, like, going forward, either, both as my student life and for my nursing life, I will apply, kindness and positivity, and, I think a little kindness can go a long way, and also a little positivity. That's not to say, like, when I say positivity, I don't mean, like, false hope. I just mean, like, to make people smile, right? Or laugh, or just to take them out of the state they're in, as perhaps they've gone through surgery or something. Or that, they're in a dark mood. Maybe they received, difficult news. So I think if you can shine a little bit of light on that situation, and just make them forget, even for, like, a moment, or smile for a moment, I think that makes a big difference. And I know I have experienced that with healthcare professionals, both at hospice and also at palliative care. And it really was invaluable, and it made that experience so much easier, because whether it was an RN, a PSW, or LPN, just being taken out of that, what we were experiencing, and that time, just made it a world of difference. Like, for example, at hospice, it was, my mom was having a difficult day, right? So, it is hard to see a loved one like that, right? So, actually, the chef came in, was then to come in with breakfast, and then she saw that, you know, it was a difficult time, and that, not saying this is, also I've had this situation with healthcare professionals, but this is just the first incident that came to mind. And she said, "Well, come on, let's go down to the kitchen, and I'll make you a coffee." But she made me like a specialty, like fancy coffee, and like a really fancy waffle. So it's just like, and that really, it took my mind completely off of it, and it just helped so much. And also, like, I've had so many experiences like that. So, I can't, yeah, for me, I'm like, I can't stress that enough. How important that is. And also, like, to patients as well. Like, I think it'll have the same, hopefully, like, the same effect, where it will make them smile, and provide a little bit of light into what they're going through, and make them feel a little bit better, even for a short while. So I know I'm a rambler, and so I'm gonna end this here.